Hello, I am going to focus today on secret sins. How the enemy and God works with them. Now, there is no set strategy to combat this, because sometimes a secret sin should be revealed and other times not. Okay? I'm going to give you an example. I used to be one that was so open and casual about myself that I would share my secret sins. Actually, I didn't have any secrets. And whatever evil or bad thing that I had done or was still doing, even before I was born again and after, I would blab it out. Okay? And a lot of that came from the fact that I was trying to prove to people who were jealous and intimidated by me that, oh, I'm a weak person too. You know, I have my secret sins. And so I would hope that those who wanted to be around me liked the energy, or whatever you want to call it, that I ooze out, that they would feel comfortable and not put me on any pedestals and not think that I didn't have any issues or problems in my life that I found disconcerting. So I would blab my sins to make folk comfortable. Not anymore. Okay? If you don't like me, well, oh well, I'm not going to try to win you over. And definitely by not sharing my secret sins with you. I got a funny story to tell on this score. There was this woman. We were in the same profession, the mental health field. And quite frankly, she had some mental health issues. Just for the sake of talking, I'm going to take the first letter of her name and just call her that. D. Okay? D was extremely intimidated by me. And so I did my usual, which was tell her something about me that people would think, oh, she did that. And make her feel, that I'm not all that in a bag of chips like you think I am. So here's a little something, something for you, so that you realize that I'm human just like anybody else. So one day, she was always challenging me. And one day she said, oh, it's amazing how far you have come, Pam, since you had such an unhappy, sinful life. I was like, what? Where you get that from? So she then went on to say what she knew about my past. And at that time, she was going back 20 years. She was going back to the 60s We were in the 80s at the time, and she was going back to the 60s. And I was like, where you get that from? How you know that? And she said, because you told me. All right? Here's the lesson beside that. Don't cast your pearls to swine. Okay? And don't share your secret sins with your enemies so that they can use it against you. Now, I share my errors, my mistakes, even some of my sins in my videos. But believe this, I'm not planning to run for any political office. And even if I did, if there was anything that the people would find questionable, I would be the first one to bring it up and say, before I even started running, here's the deal. Okay? I am not under the authority of anybody but Jesus Christ of Nazareth. That's it. So, I don't have to prove myself to you. If you ask me certain questions about my background, if it relates to you being comfortable with me working with you, I might clarify some things for you. But I'm not going to share with you what ultimately down the line may be harmful for me. So you can take whatever little tidbits that you want to take from my videos. Call me a witch. You know, call me, oh, she's not safe. Oh, she's destructive to the church. Whatever you want to say. Okay? Because I am not under your thumb and will never be under your thumb. But if there's something that's in my background that I don't want anybody to know, I keep that to myself. Okay? A lot of people think that because I am so open that I'm going to tell on myself and tell everything to everybody. Well, check this out, sister or brother. I ain't going to do that. Okay? Whatever I tell is really not important to me. And I'm telling it for your own good, not for mine. Because I've already been there and I've done that. So, Satan will use secret sins in different ways. I'll give you yet another example. I wanted a particular church. The only way I could get it is if the bishop assigned it to me. The bishop could not stand me. And because I appeared to him in this sinful denomination I was in, that I was above them, that I was righteous. I was living as righteous and clean as I could, where all of his other ministers, he had, his thumb on them because he knew their secret sins. In my case, he thought, he didn't know me. He thought that I was pure as the driven snow. And so I said, well, it came to me that what I should do is when I get to the meeting, so that the bishop would know that I am vulnerable, that I would go deep into things that I had done prior to being born again. That everybody would go, oh, she did that. And that way, he would have a heart of compassion for me and also think, well, I can use her because she ain't all that. Okay? So, I was back up. The only time I was going to be able to get the audience of the bishop would be at the big conference where there would be hundreds of people. And I figured during the testimony time, and make sure I timed it just when he walked in, that I'd get up and give this testimony. And, maybe I'd even cry. And it would be real, genuine. If I cried about this thing I was testifying and confessing over. And I did cry. Because I thought the Lord had told me to do this. To touch this bishop's heart for me. And so I was in my hotel room prior to the session. And prior to the testimonial time, I was in my hotel room. And I broke out crying. And fell across my bed. And I said, Lord, I just can't do it. And I heard as clear as a bell, I never asked you to. I never asked you to. And I was like, whoa. I was thinking of all of these hypocrites and these phonies and these people there. Not everybody, but a significant number who just can't stand me. I'm like, I'm going to get up and share my secret sins to them. And I said, for God, I'd do anything. But I was like, this is the first time I have to say to God, listen, Lord, I can't do this. You have to find some other way. I can't do this. And he said, I didn't ask you to. And then it became clear. The devil wanted me to shame myself, to get the gossip rolling, because all of my life people just love gossiping about me. Get the gossip going, and fall out and reveal before a bishop who is very disdainful and hostile towards me. And God didn't ask me to do it. Turns out that was God who spoke to me. The bishop had already appointed somebody to that church and nobody knew about it. He had appointed that man 3 months before. So the church that I was thinking that the Lord wanted me to go over there and pastor, it was not the Lord. And then later, many years later, I find out that I wasn't supposed to have been in that denomination in the first place. So be careful with secret sins. Don't cast your pearls to swine. And make sure whatever it is that you confess is not going to come back and bite you in the you-know-what at the wrong time. Here? Now, when you confess secret sins, you do it with people who care about you. Confess the Lord and, share your faults with people who care about you, and that confession itself will heal you. All right? That's when you confess, or when you are alone with God. But be careful, because the devil will set you up with that, causing you to think that you're going to be so holy and wise, and all you're going to be is just plain stupid. Okay? Call me. Pam of Pam Sheppard Ministries. 888-818-1117. Or send me an email to send it to Get Ready for the Lord. All small letters, FOR, Get Ready for the Lord at gmail.com. And I will work with you to get you to be wise as a serpent, but harmless as a dove. All right, take care.